As Facebook slowly descends into the flames of whistleblower exposure and potential antitrust action being brought down on it by the government, another social media dawns on the horizon, which promises to save us from fake news, censorship, and most importantly, cringe low-energy memes. Truth Social, which is a social media company created by President Trump. Now, let me explain the corporate structure behind this, because obviously Trump isn't writing the code himself and setting up servers, although that would be hilarious if he was. I wonder what IDE he would use. But anyway, this TruthSocial.com is owned by a company called Trump Media and Technology Group, which recently merged with the public company Digital World Acquisition Company, which caused its stock price to skyrocket from $13 a share on the morning of October 21st to as high as $140 a share the morning of the 22nd. And it was also one of the most popular stocks on Wall Street Bets for a period of time, more popular even than the GameStop stock. Now, there isn't really anything that you can actually do on Truth Social right now other than just join a waiting list by putting in your first and last name, your email address, and then clicking to agree to their terms of service and privacy policy, which you can also read. There's links to both of those, which we're going to take a look at in a moment. But a few days ago, somebody did discover a URL for Truth Social that was meant for the mobile app, and it actually allowed users to create an account and sign in to explore some of the things that you were able to do on here before the site was actually officially put online. Now, that link has been taken offline now. This is what it was originally, and you can see that I'm not able to reach it in my browser. But some of the people that went on there, they did find some stuff that might actually leave this platform dead in the water before it's even able to launch. And that is evidence that large portions of Truth Social's code base may have been taken from the open source decentralized social media app Mastodon, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's good because Mastodon itself is a very solid social media platform. So if Truth Social is going to be based on it, then it might not end up being a flaming pile of garbage. Now, the bad news is that the code base for Truth Social is not open source like Mastodon is. And if it turns out that the engineers behind Truth Social really did fork Mastodon's code base, then they are actually in violation of its software license. You see, Mastodon is licensed under the GPL version 3. Anyone is free to copy the code of Mastodon, but if you modify it, you are required to share all of the modifications that you made because GPL is a copyleft license. So if it turns out that TruthSocial.com really did use Mastodon's code, then they are currently in violation of the GPL software license. So if we go look at their terms of service, and then we scroll down to section 2, okay, the intellectual property rights. Unless otherwise indicated, the site is our proprietary property and all source code, databases, functionality, software, website design, audio, video, text, paragraphs, and graphics on the site are owned or controlled by us or licensed to us and are protected by copyright and trademark laws and various other intellectual property rights and unfair competition laws of the United States, foreign jurisdictions, and international conventions. This goes directly against the GPL. You cannot take GPL code and then copyright it. Now, let's get into the evidence of them copying the code. So this is all on the Internet Wayback Machine because, like I said, the link was taken down shortly after this person posted it on Twitter. So this login page doesn't actually work like, you know, if I just try to log in with whatever. It's not going to go anywhere, you know, it's not going to load anything. Okay, so if we inspect element, okay, we can see right here in the body tag, class equals lighter, theme, Mastodon light, no reduce motion. So, this implies that a Mastodon theme is being used on the Truth Social website, or at least on their login page. And even if just the theme is being used, that's still a Mastodon asset. Using Mastodon assets, if you use any of Mastodon assets, then your project has to be GPL. It has to be fully open sourced as well. And there's also this error.gif. So again, you can see the URL here, mobile.tmediatech.io. This is the same one that was mentioned here that isn't accessible anymore, and the same one that was mentioned here on, I guess, Kerr Tanner. Not sure how to pronounce their name, but when they posted this link on Twitter. So this is what was on the site. And if you look at this, I mean, you should already recognize this if you use Mastodon. This is like a little error GIF that pops up whenever a page has trouble loading or it's having some kind of problem. So again, well, we don't even really have to inspect Element for this one, but you can just see that this is the little Mastodon mascot, like the little elephant banging on a keyboard. So the only way that this could have gotten here, if the devs of Truth Social didn't just copy all of Mastodon's code, would be that they just happened to copy this little error GIF and that other little asset, that little theme from Mastodon, which again, I really doubt that they did that. They just did that, right? Like chances are the back end, the front end, everything to do with Truth Social is probably just a fork of Mastodon, and there probably isn't a whole lot of code that's being written from scratch or that's being written originally. Like clearly they used Mastodon source code. So yeah, this is pretty bad because it appears that Truth Social is in clear violation of the GPL, which is illegal. Mastodon could very easily take Trump or whoever is in charge of the design of this to court and win. Personally, I would love for Trump to create social media that is a fork of Mastodon as long as he follows the rules and actually open sources it. I don't know if I would personally use this site, but he definitely has enough money to hire really good developers that write really good code. And if all of this gets open source, which it has to be, probably will have to be in order to not be illegal, then I think that benefits everybody. Plus, Trump is really influential, okay? A lot of people are probably going to use a social media that he had a hand in creating. Sure, most of the users are probably going to be boomers at first, but they still make up a large user base for social media. Like, I think these days, Facebook is mostly boomers. Like, I'm not exactly sure what the average age is. Probably isn't quite boomer, but you get the idea. It's mostly old people that use Facebook, and they have more users than any other social media platform. So again, if that many people are actually testing out GPL code, it's good for everyone. Whether you like Trump or not, more people that are competing with social media and trying to create their own social media companies is a good thing. Promoting Mastodon or even forks of Mastodon is a good thing. But listen, Trump, buddy, okay, I know that you watch my channel. I know you've been a fan, a subscriber for a long time. Open source your code, bud. Proprietary code is cringe. It's low energy. Some proprietary devs, I assume, are good people, but they don't do their best. They have a lot of problems. GPL is the way to go. Open source your code to make Truth Social great again.